in motion. We're gonna try this. If it's terrible and bumpy, we won't use it, but we're gonna try it. So it is approximately the ass crack of dawn on my day off, and I am going to a doctor's appointment, and I figured I would multitask and make this video. This is something I have been talking about for a while. I said I would explain, so here I am explaining my hearing loss. It's so cold! Oh! And I didn't wear a coat because I'm in denial that it's cold, but it's 29 degrees right now. Welcome to New England. We're gonna go get some coffee because I have got about a 3-hour ride in front of me to go to this doctor's appointment. Sorry about that glare. Is that awful? Good morning to you too, sir. Alright, so back up to my childhood. Let's go to the way back machine of my childhood. I was the kind of kid who had a lot of ear infections growing up. Some went treated because I have vivid memories of the wretched bubblegum medicine and my mom having to pin me down on the kitchen table to take it. Sorry, Mom. But I think a lot also went untreated because I was pretty miserable my whole childhood with one ear or the other ear or both, or just generally being sick. My mom liked to say I had bronchitis. I didn't have bronchitis. I had asthma and untreated ear infections. Probably the cause of being brought up by 2 smoking parents. It was the 60s and 70s. People didn't know better. So I don't blame them. Haven't smoked a day in my life. And yet I'm the one with asthma and these ear problems. Alright, so now we will back up just to about 2012. So I have explained why I didn't work for a bunch of years because I had an accident with my hand. That's a separate video. So 2012, the end of 2012, I was going back to work after that drama. 5 years before, I had been at home because of my hand injury. Go back to work, and I gradually noticed that I can't hear. It kind of went undetected for a while because I'm not even going the right way. Son of a bitch. It went undetected for a while because I had been home alone. The only thing I had to listen to was daytime TV and the UPS man coming to the door, or the mailman or whatever. I had, I wasn't doing a lot of conversing during the day other than with my hand therapist and my husband. All right, can I do that? So I hadn't been talking to a lot of people during the day because I had been home not working. Go back to work, and I'm gradually noticing that people are talking to me and I'm not exactly hearing them, and people are saying to me, hello, I was talking to you. Totally wasn't hearing them. So I noted that I had a very gradual hearing loss just in the right ear. And I was thinking, it's probably wax. I know one time as a kid, I had to have like a lot of wax removed from all these ear infections and problems with my ears and blah, 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 blah. So I made an appointment with my doctor. He was kind of like looking in my ear and said, there's something there, but I can't get it. I don't know. It looks like a piece of wax, but it's on the other side. Huh? Wax doesn't go on the other side. The other side of my eardrum? Wax doesn't go in there. Wax doesn't belong in there. How do you... He could see through my eardrum. He could see in my... He said my eardrum wasn't right. My eardrum was sucked in. And he could see some wax on the other side, and that's weird because that doesn't belong there. Sorry, is this a super bumpy ride? Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't put my blinker on. Send you to a specialist. As a kid, I spent a lot of time in the ENT office. So, off to ENT I go. Funny, same office I'd gone to as a kid, just different doctor. Gotta have my Dunkin' this morning. Hold, please. We're gonna have coffee. I'm so hungry. Let's get our coffee. Wait, I gotta pay for my coffee.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Alright, we gotta move our ass because I see a lot of traffic. Go back to when I was a teenager. And I do remember a ear, nose, and throat doctor telling me that at some point I was probably going to need surgery on my eardrums. And I was like, whatever. I'm not going to have surgery on my eardrums. Whatever. So that's just a memory I have. So I call the ear, nose, and throat doctor. It's the same one I saw as a kid. Kind of funny. And they asked me if I mind seeing a physician assistant. And I don't mind seeing a physician assistant. I'm in the medical field. I never mind seeing an assistant as long as they can do what I need them to do. As long as they're not going to say, oh, this is over my head. You got to come back and see the other guy, or a surgeon or actual MD or something. So I said, sure, I'll see him as long as he can diagnose me and do what I need. So I go, and he's looking at my ear. Sorry, this is bumpy. And my eardrum is severely retracted, infected, and there is actually something behind my eardrum, but he says it's not wax. He doesn't know 100% sure what it is, but he thinks it's something called a cholesteatoma. And I'm like, fool, my cholesterol is fine, and what's it doing in my ear? And he says it has nothing to do with cholesterol. Let's have you come back in 6 weeks for another hearing test and then meet with the surgeon. And I'm like, let's not, because I need to be a little bit more aggressive with my treatment of this thing. Sorry, am I bumpy? Whoa! Holy shit balls. Hold, please.
Holy cow. Sorry. Oh, do you see how blind I am? Oh! Oh, it's so bright, I'm gonna die! I hope nobody's coming because I can't see you. Wah, wah. Oh, so bright!
So, by the way, welcome to New England, pothole state. So many potholes. Ugh, this is going to be a bumpy ride. I probably should have waited till I got on the highway.
Oh, so bright! Jesus! Can't see a damn thing! That was my phone. Everything's falling apart. Alright.
Let's go this away. So I tell him, I'm sorry, but I would like to be a little bit more aggressive in the treatment of this. Obviously, there's something there that doesn't belong there. I'm not going to wait 6 weeks. I've already waited probably 2 months for this appointment. And when I made this appointment, I let it be known that I don't want to have multiple unnecessary appointments. I need to get done what we need to get done. I was back at a new job, and it was affecting my job. I wasn't hearing well. After 5 years, I was just back to my job. I really needed to just get to be hearing again. So he said, fine, let's order a CAT scan, get in my head, and see what that is. Because, clearly he can't see the other side of my eardrum. He's just guessing on what it is based on his clinical experience. So I get my CAT scan and kind of had a hard time with that office, just with communication. I told them that I was back at a new job and really couldn't do a lot of phone calling, and could they communicate with me via their patient portal. Every place has a patient portal now for as far as doctor's offices go. Yeah, so like they would call, because I was at a new job, I wasn't having my phone on, and I would get out of work at 5 and turn my phone on, and they had called and said, please call us before 5. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I specifically said, can we communicate using your patient portal? Please just send me electronic messages, because I can get an email on my computer at work a lot easier than my phone ringing. So they were calling, and I would send portal messages back. I even faxed a bunch of times and said, I am at a job that works I work the same hours as you. I cannot talk on the phone. Please communicate via patient portal. Make the CT scan anytime. I will be available to go. Please just make the appointment. Let me know what it is by the portal. They kept calling. It was a nightmare. So because they couldn't even just get communication right, I wasn't feeling great about this office. Plus the fact that I didn't have a great feeling about that physician assistant that I saw wanting to get a second hearing eval. Those aren't cheap. Why do you need a second hearing test, dude? Do you think it's going to change? It hasn't changed. It's not going to get better. I was just aggravated. So in my mind, I was just going to get the CT scan, let them go through the... Did you see how close that truck was? Holy shit. Let them go through the ordeal of ordering the CT scan, and then I was going to take my result and go elsewhere. And where I live, in my immediate city, they're pretty much the only show in town. So I would have to go south to Boston. Yeah, you can get on your side of the road, right? Thank you. Jesus. I would have to go south to Boston. There is a Mass Eye and Ear that I would have considered going. Oh, hi. I saw you. A little bright this morning. Be patient. So, or north, which is where I'm going now. Because the ride is nicer, and I was familiar with, leave it at that. So, long story short, I got hooked up with a surgeon. I got my CT. Sure enough, it was impressive sized cholesteatoma. It had engulfed the little hearing bones and was all up into my mastoid, which is kind of your spongy bone up here. And what the doctor could see, I don't know what that is. Welcome to New England. What the doctor could see on the other side of my eardrum that he thought was a piece of wax was not a piece of wax.
Are you going to take a chance up there, buddy? It's a stop sign. It's not a go to sleep sign. Take a chance. You gotta take a chance some point. There you go, baby. Nice job. And I think I got the bat car in front of me. I think I got Batman in front of me. You see that car? What's that car? Is that Batman? Anyway.
So what he could see on the other side of my eardrum was the tip of the iceberg of that big ass cholesteatoma. So I needed to see a surgeon to talk about having that bad boy removed. So I got hooked up with a fabulous surgeon, and he gave me the surgical options, which were remove it, needs to come out. And he described to me a 2-part procedure where he would, in the first part, remove the cholesteatoma. Remove the cholesteatoma, which was going to be quite a feat because it was all up in the mastoid, like I said, and it was engulfing those hearing bones. Remove the hearing bones. Remove the eardrum, which was diseased. Rebuild the eardrum, and let that all heal. And he was doing this through the back of my ear. So he would have to take the the ear about 3/4 of the way off. Yeah, leaving it connected just at the front here. Cut around the back, allowing him to go in that way to remove this cholesteatoma and do his work. So I had that done in 2013 summer, and he did have to shave about 1 inch behind my ear, so that was cute. I had a little side cut, buzz cut, undercut, behind cut. For a while. It grew out super quick. It was no big deal. He did a really good job with behind my ear. You couldn't even really see it at all. So he took it out. He said it was impressive, and it was definitely the cause of my hearing loss because it just muffled everything right down, engulfed everything important in there. So I had the cholesteatoma removed. I had my eardrum rebuilt, which they take tissue called fascia. They just take the fascia from around in there, the muscles around in there, and rebuild the eardrum. And I'm telling you, what a miracle, because had this been even probably 20 years ago, I would have just had hearing loss. I would have needed a hearing aid if it was even going to be possible to restore hearing with a hearing aid with that kind of hearing loss. But anyway, rebuilt the eardrum, closed things up, let it heal for 4 months. After 4 months, I went back of the ears all healed up, beautiful, hardly any scar, no problems with that. He did a beautiful job behind my ear. I was so worried that I was going to have like crooked ears or whatever, and I did not. He did a beautiful, beautiful job. He healed up well. So then, 4 months later, I go back, and now he's going to rebuild my hearing bones using titanium implants. What? Okay. So he did not have to go through the back of the ear that time. He was able to go right through the ear hole, and he took down the new eardrum, kind of like a garage door, just kind of opened it, and fitted the titanium in there. It's a tiny little titanium implant that they create on the fly in the OR based on my ear dimensions, and they custom trim this titanium part to fit in my ear dimensions, which I think is super cool. They also use a piece of the tragus, which is the little kind of flap of cartilage in the front. A lot of people pierce it. Girls don't pierce it because someday you might need it. Boys don't pierce it. Someday you might need it. I needed mine. Had I had mine pierced, they wouldn't have been able to use it. And I don't know what they would have done. Had to take a piece of something from somewhere else, I guess. But they're already in the ear. Might as well take a piece of the ear, right? So they use a piece of the tragus to stabilize the titanium implant, which I think is very cool. So I get my little second procedure done. Cholesteatoma's gone. Implant is in. Close the new eardrum back up. And pray for healing and pray for hearing. We're going through a toll booth here. So that gets all healed up. I go back for my post-op check, and so I should back up and say my first hearing test at the local ENT was a big fat fail. I had another one, obviously the surgeon wanted to have his own done, and they actually showed me the result. And the result is, if you think of like a full piece of paper as the chart, and the very, very top line is like awesome hearing, everybody's hearing is so awesome, normal, wonderful, perfect hearing. And say like the top third of the page is someone with normal hearing. And the bottom 2/3 of the page is what we'll call hearing aid territory. So I was kind of I was about halfway down of that bottom 2/3. That's a lot of math. Halfway down of that bottom 2/3 into hearing aid territory. So I had pretty shitty hearing. After this procedure, I was still in hearing aid territory. Not right after. It was like 6-8 weeks after I had my post-op check and my second hearing eval. I was still in hearing aid territory, but I was at the very top of hearing aid territory. And it was early in the game. There was definitely room for improvement. So he just said, we'll let the healing happen, and the hearing should gradually be restored. No need to have another hearing test. Call us if something doesn't seem right. And I'll see you probably yearly to make sure, because these cholesteatomas, I guess, have a propensity to grow back. And I should say, cholesteatoma, some kids are born with cholesteatoma, and some people develop them. I had the kind that was developed from scarring from years of ear infections, like I said. I didn't have the kind you were born with. Anyway, so that was in 2013. And I very gradually did note some gain in hearing. It wasn't like, wow, I think I hear better today. I think I hear even better today. Wow, even better today. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was so slow and gradual, kind of probably the same way as how I lost the hearing, very gradual and slow, to the point where I probably didn't even really notice it much until it was like, wow, I really just can't hear shit. So I did have a wow day. Several months later, I was talking on the phone, and by now I had been in such a habit of talking on the phone only on my left ear, and I was talking to my parents on the phone, and I had this crazy idea to try it on my right ear, and I could hear them, and I got all choked up, and I said, Mommy, I'm talking to you on the phone right now with my right ear, and I can hear you. And she was like, oh my goodness, this is so wonderful, blah, 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 blah. We were so happy. It was a good day. So while I knew that I didn't have perfect hearing, I was definitely on the road to being better, and I was happy. People were noticing an improvement at work, and my husband and my daughter were noticing improvements, because when I would walk with them, I'd be like, oh, if you're going to talk to me, you got to get on my not deaf side. You're talking on my deaf side. I can't hear you. We'd go to the movies, and I couldn't hear. If they were on my deaf side, I couldn't hear them. We were whispering to each other. I couldn't hear on my deaf side, so it was pretty annoying. And it was notably better. So I was happy. So now, we're on to 2014, we're on to 2015, and I changed jobs. And guess what? Hey, dude, I was talking to you. What? No, you weren't. And I was pretty open book about my hearing. I had a few people that I worked with I had already known from the other job, so they kind of knew the story. But it was noted again that my hearing was kind of crap. And so I called my surgeon, and I said, it's probably time for one of those follow-ups, and I'm really not hearing well. Do you think I should have a CT scan done before I come up and see the doctor again? Oh, your doctor left. What? No one told me. So I feel like when you have a relationship, an ongoing proposed relationship with your doctor, meaning we'll see you back, I am his patient. It's not like once, it wasn't like a fly-by-night thing where I just saw him one time and good luck to you. The intention was to see him again yearly. So I was kind of perturbed that I didn't get any kind of letter or anything saying you know, your surgeon's gone. We've got someone else for you. Call the office to make an appointment or whatever. Something. Nothing. And they said, oh, okay, yep, we have this other doctor. We'll hook you up with him in about 6 months. What? Well, the one doctor left, and the other guy had to take all his patients on, so we do have quite a wait. And if it's an emergency, you know, you could see another doctor if you need to somewhere else. You were free to choose another. What? There is no other, because my local one doesn't treat that. So anyway, I was pissed. I said, fine, got it. Please put me on a cancellation list. If you get a cancellation, just plug me in it and I'll come. And I said, and meanwhile, can I just at least get the CT so we can just know if there's something wrong? And they were like, oh, well, where this doctor's never seen you before, he's probably not going to order it. I said, no. Look at my record. That doctor can look at my record and can see that the other doctor had intended on ordering it, and he can please just order it. It's the least you can do. If you're going to make me wait 6 months with this hearing loss, we can at least get information on if that damn cholesterol grew back or not. So that was a hassle, back and forth. Fine. He finally agreed to order the CT. So I had the CT and getting my appointment moved up, which I did do. So I had the CT locally instead of driving 3 hours up to this place to have it done. No need for that. I work in a hospital system, so I had the CT. And I had the disc, so I looked at it myself. And I'm no doctor, but I've seen a CT or 2 or 500 in my career. And I knew it wasn't right. There was a spot where my surgery had been that I knew shouldn't be there, but I also knew it could have just been like surgical areas, hot surgical areas from where the fascia was taken. It could be the implant I was looking at, because that's titanium, so that's going to look funny on. So I knew something wasn't right, but I knew it could just be the surgical area. So I did get my appointment moved up. I finally get in with the new surgeon, went with my CT, and he looked and he said, yeah, something's not right. What's not right is that my new eardrum was sucked up into that vacant mastoid space that was left over from removing the cholesteatoma. So that left the titanium implant just kind of laying there, not making contact with anything important. I'm not going to go into how ears work, but you kind of need contact. Those hearing bones, or now my implant, need to make contact with certain structures inside the ear in a certain way in order to resonate that sound that you're trying to hear. So with my eardrum all contracted up into the mastoid space, that contact was not happening, which is why I wasn't hearing again. The cholesteatoma was not back. I was very happy about that. So he proposed to go in, take that eardrum down, salvage it if he could, make a new one if he couldn't, and it was apparently full of fluid and infection and blah, blah, blah. Clean out all that junk, fix up that eardrum somehow, and get that titanium implant back where it belongs so that it can work. So we did that. So I went under the knife again mid-September, so about a month and a half ago. And the outcome was he was able to save most of that rebuilt eardrum and kind of put it back where it needs to go. He was able to put the titanium back where it needs to go, get all that junk out of there, and he gave me a ear tube, kind of like, but different than the tubes kids get when they get a lot of ear infections. They get those ventilation tubes. Those are meant to be temporary and are meant to kind of fall out on their own when they're not needed anymore. This kind is permanent. It's made out of something different. It looks different. It functions a little bit different. It's got kind of flanges, he called them, on the sides, which are just like kind of things that hold them there in the eardrum. So I've got a ventilation tube because the reason that eardrum did get sucked up into the mastoid like that was because my eustachian tube was not functioning. So I had this odd pressure in my ear that was causing the eardrum to be sucked up like that into the mastoid. Eardrum got fixed. Ventilation tube in place. I got a tailgater on my ass, being a dick. Seriously, dick. So that went well. And no lifting, nothing strenuous. No bending over for 6 weeks. So we're coming to the end of that now. And I'm going today to get it checked. And I hope that I have good results. I feel like I hear better. I wouldn't say, oh, I think I'm all better. I definitely still feel stuffy in there. But I guess that's how you feel when there's something foreign embedded in your eardrum. Want to see the foliage? Can you see it? It's not as good. Can you see that? There's a lot dead. Peak foliage season's already gone by. That means the best time for the colors was a few weeks ago, and a lot of the leaves, like up there, a lot of the leaves have fallen off the trees. So, sorry it's not peak, but it's still pretty. Look isn't it pretty? It's like driving through art.
Still driving. I'll be driving for the rest of my life. Ugh. Trees, mountains, trees, foliage.
Michelle! Look, Michelle! I'm so close, Michelle! Say wink. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna have a hearing test, and he's gonna look in my ear, and hopefully I'll get a good answer. So, wish me luck. If this was totally annoying to watch, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to edit all the really bumpy, shitty parts out. I will see you after my appointment. I will hop back on here after my appointment and hopefully have some good news.
2 hours later.
I need lip gloss. This isn't exactly gloss. Is this gonna make my lips pink? Yeah, pink. That's alright. Hey, that's not too bad. What is this shit? Kind of tastes like Band-Aids. Kind of smells like Band-Aids. What are you looking at? I'm talking to myself. Is that okay with you? Yeah. Definitely smells like Band-Aids. But I don't hate it. Oh, my chips are lapped. My lips are chapped. I think I just had a stroke. It was dry in there. It was so bloody dry in there.
Oh, all right, so not the best news, not the worst news. I saw my cute little doctor, and everything's healing up fine in there. However, there is a small area of concern in an upper corner, kind of where the cholesteatoma originated from last time, where the mastoid is kind of dug away. My eardrum is slightly sucked up in that one corner, and a pocket of debris in it. I love when they call it debris. We call it schmutz. Got some ear schmutz stuck up in the corner. And he said it's a potential area of concern, and that we will watch it, and I will see him again in 6 months for another hearing eval and another ear look. And we'll take it from there. And he said it could also go the other way and continue to heal now that my ear canal has good airflow and equalization of pressure. Things could just fill in and heal. But it also could continue to develop into another cholesteatoma. Either way, he's on it. He's going to keep me on a 6-month callback, hearing check, ear look, and I feel good about it. There's nothing I need to do other than not get water in it intentionally, but if a little water gets in it from the shower, it's okay. No submerging in strange pools.
Or, there's a dog behind my car. Is there a people with your doggy? Oh, there's a people with the dog. He's so cute. Scared the shit out of me because I'm in like the middle of nowhere here. Like, this place is a big place, but it's surrounded by woods. And I wouldn't be surprised to see wild animals. But it's just a dog with its people. Anyway.
I don't even know what I was saying. I feel good about my post-op check.
Let's go. Anybody gonna let me out? Anybody gonna let me out? You can't just park your car there, girl, when you clearly see me trying to leave. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, that cute puppy's so fluffy. There he is. Where'd his tail go? He's got no tail. He's so cute. He's so cute. Oh, good puppy. He's trying to run with me. You're kind of going fast there, Skipper. Oh, I gotta sneeze so bad. Because he was filling in my ear. Alright, ready? Whoop whoop! Baby Yui, baby! Sorry, thank you, goodbye! Jesus, smoke bomb. Gosh. Isn't your tailpipe dirty?